All right, which one is it? Korean, bubbly, optimistic, well, 17, so might be a bit too young. Uh, my experience, Koreans should always be avoided. Oh, this is like a disgusting, awful mix. So, Filipino women, the Philippines is a colony and it is a feminist nightmare. They don't build any infrastructure. That country is a true mess, and the women play a major part in the destruction of that country. There's 100 million people there, and they don't even have a train. That whole country is just hating on men and oppressing men, and there's no infrastructure being built. It's just a sick society. Britain isn't as bad, but it is almost the same in a way. Britain is just a disgraceful society. So this girl would have serious feminist views that are not connected to the reality of the other 7.7 billion other people all over the world. She's living in a whole world that is just not real. Avoid this one. Okay, she's half terrible and half awesome. Vietnamese girls, you see, the Vietnamese girls, they're awesome. They're definitely some of the most beautiful in all of Asia. It's a The Vietnamese men are alpha males. They were one of the poorest countries in the world, and they took on a global they took on the United States at its absolute peak power and still defeated it. You got to respect Vietnamese men for that. The thing here is Vietnamese women do have there's a little bit of spice. There's a little bit of chili there. It's only probably like 10%. Filipino women, it's literally like 50, 60, 70, 80% spice, on average, like not very smart, lies, cheats, steals. So when you add up the percentages, there's probably only 30% good in this one. You need to avoid this one. Korean 21, and she's holding fists. Now, Koreans, they're at war with North Korea. The country's in decline. They don't have a democracy. They're still a colony of the United States. The CIA created K-pop to make out that they're more attractive than they really are, to compete with China's C-pop and Japan. And so Korean girls, because they're at war, there's a lot of pressure on them to only have babies with Korean men. And so it's really hard to really find or have a real connection with a Korean girl. And the fact that she's throwing her fists up there, she's just nothing but trouble. Oh, see that? See that? See the hearts? Okay, we have Vietnamese, a little bit of spice, but by far some of the most beautiful women in all of Asia right now in 2025. I might even give. Oh, it's a hard one. I think because Vietnam is safe at the moment, they're a little bit more free and a little bit open, a little bit more liberal. While Taiwanese girls, which I'd put on the same level, I would say Taiwanese girls, oh, they might have a slight edge, but it's almost a draw in the looks. But Taiwanese girls, they don't have that little bit of spice. They don't have the 10% of chili added. They're all round wholesome, but they're not as liberal because they're kind of like the Korean girls, where they need to be having babies with Taiwanese men. So there's a lot of societal pressure on them to stick with their own kind. So it's hard to get one of those. Taiwanese girls are top tier. Taiwanese, on average, they're probably only 5-10% Taiwan Aboriginal, they're basically Chinese when you look at it. But then you look at you've got here. So I'd say you've got Vietnamese, which is an amazing mixture, and then you've got Chinese. Out of shape business. Well, hang on. What happened there? We get to see this one more time. Man, see that? The peace sign, and then she gives the heart. What has she got? Confident, magnetic, sunshine girl, inquisitive, passionate. Anyway, the mixture of Chinese. China is a rising power. It's coming back, baby. The Chinese empire is back and it's growing. Historically, when we look back at 2025, in 100 years, we'll see this as the beginning of the empire. And that's because at home, Chinese women have to play their part. They have to be good women. You cannot have a good society with awful women. This is why Britain collapsed. This is why Britain is dying. Unfortunately, they're sending all of these scummy British women to Australia, but that's a topic for another day. China's rising because their women are awesome. That's one major factor. Some of the best educated, hardworking, polite, loyal, everything. They're just amazing. They're top tier. They're the pinnacle. And I'd say because Vietnam is at its peak right now, Vietnam's doing so well, this is almost the best mix. It is almost the perfect mix. I would say any mixture between this and maybe Taiwanese, and a few others that I won't mention here. You have to pay for that information. It's in the member section of this channel. But anyway, this is by far the best pick. And yeah, that's my take on this video.